sure if I show this. So basically, you're just going to use that and place the points right in the corners of the screen. And now I'm doing the second screen. Now you go back, and as you can see, after I have tracked that out, it's in there. Oh, but we're running into problems. So we're going to have to make a Luma mat so that Ben here can wave his hand in front of the screen. There you go. Boom. Just like that. So now we're gonna drag this up. We're gonna use the Colorama to make this mat, and we want to make sure that everything that's white is what's going to be making our mat. So we want to make sure he's all white. So once we do that, we're going to build our mat, and then we ran into this other problem, that the tracking markers, because they were also black and white, that they were showing through because of the Luma mat. So in order to fix that, I made a mask around Ben here. And yes, I am aware that had I made a mask originally instead of doing the Luma mat, I wouldn't have had any of these problems. But I feel like I like this technique a little bit more. So, as you can see, once we have that mask in there, he can put his face in front of there, and there's no problems when it comes to him sticking his face. I feel like it's much cleaner than doing a mask, so that's why I choose that technique. Okay. So now we're going to get to our blood splat part, which is going to be lots of fun. So basically, you're just going to import some blood files. I imported all of my blood files, as you can see, because I wasn't sure which ones I wanted to use. And you're going to be dragging and dropping them onto your current composition. I thought about doing something there, then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. Basically, you line up your blood where you want it to go, and you want to put it in 3D space, so you can do cool things like make the blood splatter on the wall, which is pretty cool. As you can see, I ran into problems where the blood was getting on Ben's face because there was no mask there. So in order to fix that, we make a mask. And that's pretty simple, as you can see. And so I'm just adding an extra point here so I can make a more clean mask around his face. And boom. But wait, trying to figure out what happened here. So what happened here was I forgot to remove the blood splatter from my original composition after I put it in my pre-comp. So once I delete that out of my original composition, it's going to disappear. Needless to say, I was a little bit confused what was happening for a little bit. this is the blood splatter coming out of the back of his head and then onto the wall. We had to do some adjusting there and some masking on his head so it looked like it was coming out of his head rather than just sitting there. And there we go. So, looks pretty cool. Just need to line up my blood splat a little bit more. And it's almost done. In order to get a cleaner splatter, I put a new blood splat in. Decided to reapproach it. And that looked about right. So just gonna make a mask there. As soon as this thing stops being stupid, I make the mask. Center it up perfectly. And I'm going to feather that a little bit, rescale it. As you can see here, it doesn't look quite right as it's coming out of his head. So at this point we need to add some more points. And that will change our mask up and make it look like it's coming out of his head. So we're going to ramp that feather up. Once we render this out, it looks pretty good. And drop the opacity. And look how beautiful this blood splatter is. Nearly perfect. So we're going to add that to our render queue. I know what you're thinking is, why didn't he track in a gunshot on the front of the guy's face? Well, my thinking is that the guy, he was so scared that he opened up his mouth and got shot right in the mouth, so you can't even tell he got shot because everything just went through the back of his head. And we're finished.